welcome to Gardening Genes. Fall is finally here and it's time to start tackling some of those projects that we've had on the list and didn't want to deal with while it was too hot. So a lot of what we have to do involves moving plants around, similar to the spring. And we think there's some rain coming a little later in the week, so this is a good day to get going on that. So let's get going and let's see what there is to do. So here are three of the candidates to be moved. These are wedding ring boxwood. And the reason that we have yardsticks on them is we were checking their size to see how well they would fit in the area that they're going to go into. So it's time to dig. Now boxwood are usually pretty easy to move. Their roots are not terribly deep, but you do want to get far enough around them that you get a decent sized root ball. These have been in here for a number of years. The thing is, it's fairly shady, so they haven't grown all that much. The area that we're going to put them in, there's a lot more sun, so we should get much more of the variegation. A lot of times variegated plants turn much more green if they're getting a lot of shade, and you'll get more of that variegation if you get them more sun. Oh, looks like it's popping.
Yep, it's very clean too. Very clean, not a lot of broken roots.
Nice.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yep, beautiful.
Hey, the tag's still on it.
That's funny. And now comes the hard part, getting that big root ball into the wheelbarrow. That's why he's doing the digging on this one, not me.
What? Remember, I do the digging, you do the lifting.
Not on this baby. Wow. Beautiful. I hear a lot of grunting and groaning going on there.
That's just my belly telling me that I'm overworking it. There's one root, but that root is not from this plant.
Oh, I see it. Oh, that might have been a root from the tree that's nearby here.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
It's either Coosa dogwood or potentially even the maple.
Yeah, because there's a Coosa right here. Okay, let's take it where it needs to go. So this is the area that these boxwood are going to get planted in, and Tom already went and measured off the distance apart he wants them. He measured based on some more mature wedding ring boxwoods that we have and how big they are. We do keep them trimmed, but there is a certain size that we like. This is an area that is right off of our tomato garden, off of our deck. And we actually used to have a big planting box here that rotted, and we took it out earlier this season. So we needed something substantial to put here, and we thought that the boxwood would look pretty. And they'll be much happier because they'll get much more sun.
.22.
So Tom's measuring the root ball right now.
Yeah, roughly 22 by 22. By 7 or 8.
7 or 8 deep?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want to plant these plants
No, as you can see,
too deep. You want to plant them a little
the
high.
root flare is right there. But we're gonna mulch them, so get back on
Okay.
there. Okay.
So the soil isn't terrible here,
No, it's not.
although we are going to add some of the Coast of Maine planting mix and some biotone to it. And sometimes it's much easier just to have a big container on the side to put the soil in rather than making a pile. We often find, especially with root ball this size, that we don't need all of the soil that we dug out, so that way we don't have to worry about moving it later. So here Tom is measuring that hole. When you have a good sized root ball, sometimes that's the easiest thing to do is to go out there with a yardstick and measure it to make sure that you're digging it once in the right size that you need. You'd hate to take the root ball, put it in that hole, and then all of a sudden find out that it doesn't fit, right?
Right. In fact, as we say in New England, this is a yardstick. And it's something you used to get for free in stores. But you don't get them free anymore, which probably explains why both these yardsticks have companies that no longer exist. They gave away stuff.
Yep.
Look at that.
Now the interesting thing is that we actually came through and we prepared this bed, and this bed had a lot of daffodils and grape hyacinth in it, and we must have dug out, I don't know, probably 200 daffodil bulbs, and I can't even tell you how many grape hyacinth bulbs in the process. But now we're going to be able to go plant those somewhere else. But it'll be interesting to see how many we missed. You got it?
Yeah, you never know.
That's a big one.
I don't like that at all.
I'd bring that wheelbarrow a little closer, maybe. Says the supervisor of the project. All right, hold on. I'm going to put the camera down and help you. All right, look at that. That hole fits perfectly. We have to level it out, of course, but hey, that's not bad.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about the hole being much wider, because if you took a good look at that root ball, I really barely cut any of the outside roots. So I'm not concerned about having lost anything or need to put too much compost around that outside edge. That's just going to be, that plant doesn't know it's moved.
Okay. Now it's time to fill in, get a little biotone in there, which we find really makes a difference.
Make sure there's no air pockets. Although, when we put the water on full jet, it'll push that dirt right underneath there in case there are any air holes. But the way that hole was dug, I seriously doubt I'm going to have any kind of trouble like that. Yeah, look at that, see? I could feel underneath there, and I could fill that in really well. Oh yeah, big hole there. So let's get some biotone in first. See? Look at all that nice root cluster. It's holding this together.
Yeah, this plant came out nicely.
I went as far out as the branches on my vertical cut straight down. Then I went around the second time, and that's when I did the angular cut.
So as far out as the branches
Yeah,
go.
I was out about this far, and I took my square shovel and just went straight down. So that cuts the perimeter 6 inches deep, so that those roots have now been pruned. Then I can come in and actually get that 8 inches under. And as you saw with a boxwood, that's about as deep as those went anyway.
And one of the, I suppose, the important things to note is that he used a straight shovel, not a rounded shovel, to do this. So it made a really nice, clean cut and a clean circle around the plant. Nice. You did a good job.
All right. Look at that. That's beautiful. Well, so today's Tuesday. We'll do the next one Wednesday, the next one Thursday. And we'll move the cavatine. On Friday I play golf, so we'll move that Saturday. We should have this project done by the end of the week.
Yeah, that's what you think.
Oh,
So I told Tom he had to take the camera and he had to film me now because I'm the one who's always filming, so it always looks like I don't do anything and that he does all the work. So just so you can see, I work too.
okay, further note. Kathy in the editing department put her head on my body. I'm actually doing all this work. Kill it.
Yeah, no, that's gotta go. Oh, more bulbs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just make a pile.
Daffodil bulbs. You didn't get them all. That's what I was concerned about. I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Actually, while I'm at it,
Kill it.
pull this out. Yep. We don't want those anymore.
Invasive. Beautiful, but invasive.
Yeah. They grow everywhere. They spread by underground runners, and wow. You end up with a lot more than you thought.
Don't go any closer to the brick. I measured that, so
Okay.
you can go as far back as you want.
All right. We're getting there. All right, I'm going to start putting some of this on the side now.
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of a hollow there anyway.
Ooh, a little piece of bark in there, too. All kinds of
Oh,
stuff.
bulb. I see another bulb. Yep.
Actually, that might be rock.
No, that one.
Oh, I'm not going to worry about that.
How dare you?
It's a little tiny thing.
Do you know what those sell for?
All right, we got to measure this and see where we're at.
Okie dokie.
So here we are. The 3 boxwood have been planted, and now Tom's giving them a good drink. That's sort of the last step for these today. We're not going to mulch these with bark mulch at this point. What we are going to do is wait when we get our shredded leaf mulch a little later in the fall and put leaf mulch first down on this area, which also helps with water retention and added nutrients. But something very interesting happened while we were putting these in. We've been calling these wedding ring boxwood this whole time. That's what I thought they were. And there was a tag embedded in one of them. And the tag did not say wedding ring. And here is the tag. And the tag says sunburst. So we've been calling them the wrong thing this whole time. Go figure.
It's been 5-6 years.
Yeah. There are some Cavitine Andromeda, Pieris, at the top of the wall, but they're actually behind this very, very large oak leaf hydrangea. And they're not very happy there. So they're the ones that we're moving to put in place of the boxwood in the front of the yard. And this kind of fascinates me. These are the hydrangea at the top of the stairs. These are tiny tough stuff. And even though the flowers are finished, wow, I still think the color is absolutely beautiful. They're very, very dry at this point. They could be picked. But what a cool color. So here is where we dug the boxwood out. And there had been a fourth one here that we dug out earlier in the season. And what's replacing them are these Cavitine Andromeda. Now these are also transplants. They've come from an area of the yard where they were struggling a little bit. We transplanted this one in the spring, and you can see it's very happy. In fact, it's put out its flower buds for next season. And one of the ways you can tell that the one that we just took out and put in place of the boxwood, you can tell how it was struggling because there isn't a single flower bud on this one. Now there's one more in the area where they are, but that one looks like it's doing okay. So it looks like we will be looking to buy 2 more Cavitines. So Tom is doing just some test digs here. We have 3 candy corn spirea that are in the front yard. They're underneath a blood-good Japanese maple, and they really, as that maple is growing, have gotten too much shade. And this area is much sunnier, so we're thinking of moving them here. So this is where the candy corn spirea are that we want to move. They are shaded by a very large blood-good Japanese maple, and just haven't done as well as they should. They don't have the color they should have, and at this point in the season they're losing their leaves a little prematurely, so we think it's a good idea to take them out.
Yep. It's a shame because they're gorgeous in the spring, but the fact that they get little to no quality sun.
Spirea are another one that usually move pretty easily. They have a kind of a fibrous root, but it's usually not too big. In fact, this looks like it's coming out pretty cleanly, Tom.
Yeah. I was a little generous. I probably didn't have to take that much dirt. So I'm leaving myself a very heavy root ball.
Yeah, but that's actually a pretty clean root ball.
Yeah, but it's hard to believe that weighs 334 pounds.
And of course the question now is, what do we put in their place? It's got to be something that takes a lot of shade, unless we put some more of the Pieris, the Cavitine Andromeda, in there. The only thing is we put the candy corn in here to begin with because we liked the leaf color. And now we need to find something for the shade that is deer resistant, that might have a nice leaf color. And just to point out, in the shade things change. Behind Tom here, we have more of the all gold Hakona cloa grass, which I love. But if you notice, in the shade, it's very, very green, whereas all the Hakona cloa grass in the sun is yellow. So we got all 3 of the candy corns out. And now it's time to put them in. They came out in some very, very nice root balls. Again, you try to get as big of a root ball as you possibly can. But spirea are another plant that tend to transplant pretty easily. More digging. All of this involves a whole lot of digging. Oh, there's our rooster friend. As usual.
Welcome to New England.
Whoa, that's a big one. That's practically a stepping stone. And here they are, all planted. I think they're going to be much happier up here. The candy corn spirea all the way out in the back where you can see the rooster. It's an area that needs some plants, some additions, and it gets quite a bit of sun. Leia's garden is looking lovely. We've got some nice colors still from the Roseanne geranium, as well as the sedum and the blues of the butterfly bush. The variegated Caryopteris is looking great, and you can still see some of the Verbena barneriensis blooming. So even though it is now getting toward the end of September, it still looks lovely. So another fall task that we've decided we needed to do was some lawn remediation. This lawn was having some real trouble this year. And during the time when we had all of the heat, a lot of the grass died back. So we had somebody come in with a machine that aerates and puts seed down at the same time. And you can see how it punched all these little holes in the ground and pulled the plugs up. Now, the plugs are eventually going to break down. But the nice thing is that when they do, it's actually going to create some softer soil here. So it was aerated and seeded at the same time. And the worst area, which was right along the road here, we also threw some better compost down over the top. And we're supposed to be getting some good rain later this week, which will certainly help. And then we can always use a sprinkler if we need to. But yeah, you can see all of the holes that were plugged in, or that were poked in here, and the plugs that came out. So this should help us to deal with the compaction issue. And fall is a great time to put down grass seed. Now, last year I promised myself that I wouldn't purchase any plants unless I knew where they were going to go, and I do know where these are going to go. Now, fall is a great time to buy plants because usually the garden centers will have some kind of a discount on things. The downside is that you won't have the kind of selection that you have early in the season. But these are two plants that were on my list, and I happened to find them at my local garden center. Now, one of them is a sugar tip rose of Sharon, which has lovely variegated foliage and pink flowers. I have another one with variegated foliage of a different variety that has purple flowers that I've had great success with, so I wanted another one, and to get one with a different flower color was just great. And this is a My Monet Weigela, and I have a place where I've got a couple of others, and it really could use another one to complete the row, so I was very happy to find this as well. Okay, so this is where the little Mimone Weigelia is going to go. And you probably can see there's a couple more behind it in the bed. So this is going to be a good addition. They're of varying sizes because they're varying ages
In conditions.
and conditions. More digging.
Yeah, let's get this white junk out of
Yeah, the soil here is not as good. You can see it has sort of a very pale whitish gray cast to it. So we'll definitely pull some of that soil out and amend it with some better stuff.
Ooh, very, very dry.
I did bring some water up. It doesn't look too root bound though.
No, that pot looks pretty good.
Okay, so here it is in place. And you can see that there are 3 others in here. There's also a potentilla in here, but that's something that we are going to remove. It doesn't quite fit with this grouping. And I will plant more ogon grass at the base of the 2 on this corner. And then it will look very nice. And the very last plant that I got in the ground today was the little sugar tip Rose of Sharon. And I put that in the crescent bed. Where it can join its other buddy here with the variegated foliage. There's a little bit of fence in front of them just to keep the deer, just at hoof's length, I guess. But when that grows, I think that's going to look absolutely beautiful. And we still have some things blooming. It still is looking really, really nice. Although the colors are really changing. I mean, look at that red. And underneath the peachy hydrangea, the white anemone are now fully in bloom and looking absolutely lovely. And there are still some roses popping out, although I haven't been out here to deadhead them.